Hello friends, I made this for. My name is Lauren, and today I have for you a reading for this Virgo season. So just a collective reading of what might be the energies we can tap into for this shift in season. Of course, Virgo comes to us as the mutable energy of Earth, mutable being that this is also when we start to reach the very tail end of a season. So this is our very tail end of summer. So with that, we are already starting to see the shifts. To me, on a personal level, mutable energy is very wind, wind-like, very, because whenever, at least here in the Northeast, there's always a lot of wind that starts to pick up when these transitions are happening, right? So when we are in our summertime and starting to approach fall, there are certain shifts that are already happening. To me, fall is very much a shift in season just together. Maybe that's because I'm cardinal or Earth being a Capricorn. I'm like, winter and summer are the most extremes, and then we have fall and spring that are kind of the in-between those two major extremes of weather, right? At least that's my personal feelings on it. And of course, if you've never been here before, hi, hello, my name is Lauren. I like to talk about toxic spirituality, art as ritual, and all of those sort of things. And I like to educate people about astrology and tarot in my own way, and that is just my own way. This is not to say that my way is the end-all be-all or the universal truth, just one way to perceive these energies, because all of us have our own scope and way of looking at the world. I'm just sharing mine. So if you're a returning subscriber, hi, hello, I missed you. I hope you're doing good. It's been a while. I know I said I was going to be doing more readings and then just didn't. But alas, the beat goes on, right? So Virgo season in the tarot is represented with the Hermit. So this can be seen as the very slow and methodical way that Virgo as an energy looks at the world through a very critical lens and of the sense of, okay, what's really of service, what's really good for us, like really diving into those things and discerning through literally using our own light to guide. And of course, if you're looking to connect with Virgo energy more this Virgo season, I always highly recommend pull out the card from your deck, pull out your Hermit, and meditate with it, connect with it, look at it, journal with it, draw it in your own interpretation. Of course, if you're wanting to connect with tarot and art, I do have a playlist I will link at the end of this video that is all about art as ritual. And of course, I do have different rituals for like connecting to Leo or channeling the star. I don't think I have a Virgo one up per se, but who's to say that won't happen next month? So when we're thinking about Virgo energy, and again, this is very collective, one has to remember that collectively a lot is going on, right? There's Mercury and Gatorade, Venus and retrograde is starting to, I believe, come to its close. Take out your calendars, babies, and look at what's going on. Mars is going into Libra. Let's see. Ah, yes. That's right. I thought so. I thought so. Venus is going direct on the 3rd. So we have that change. We have Mercury, Gatorade coming up. We got stuff, okay? We got stuff. So let's actually get into what we might be wanting to tap into. Virgo season is also a great time to get your house in order, organized, make things streamlined, and make things work to their best, right? Like something around those lines. Look at your house and get it in order. Don't focus on other people's shit. Focus on your own, right? We might want to scrutinize other people. We might want to judge other people. But if you point a finger, that's 3 pointing back at you. So think about that. Think about that. Let's start with a little collective breaths. Take a deep breath with me if you want to. Feel that energy. And of course, I'm a Virgo moon. I'm a Virgo moon, so I love Virgo season. One of my besties is a Virgo. Virgo energy is also about being of service, being a healer, being a supporter. We can see that as like Virgo being the one who is trying to support others, right? I sometimes like to see Virgo as the bedside nurse, being there and looking at all the numbers on the chart and really being on the ground, understanding where their patients are at and scrutinizing those numbers, getting things in order, making sure every patient that they have has their medication on time, on the dot. Like that's to me one way of looking at Virgo energy. It might be a little like extreme at times, but it is out of this perseverance of desiring to make sure things are done correctly. We're not fucking around and finding out. We are finding out without having to fuck around, right? So with that said, thinking about the energy of And Virgo is also ruled by Mercury, so that's another avenue we can kind of connect to if you're looking for a planetary rulership to connect to in this season. Again, this is really use as you choose, right? How you connect is valid and sacred. Don't forget it. Thinking about the Hermit, what card can we collectively use as our guiding light? What card can we collectively use as our guiding light? I love this. I think this is really interesting because Justice is the card of Libra. Of course, Libra follows Virgo in the astrological wheel. So the next thing we go to is the initiator of fall, which is Libra. And so to me, this is let your guiding lights collectively be how you want to plan outside of just Virgo season. So set your long-term goals as your guiding light and make sure that those goals are aligned with your sense of justice, your moral compass, right? So with this card, we have the invitation to balance ourselves. Okay, like we see the scales of justice in one hand, and the other hand, the sword is facing up to the heavens or to God. This connection represents how we connect to spirit, to God, to our higher self, and using that energy as our guiding force. So with the sword up, it might be seen as a threatening manner, but it's kind of like almost the lightning rod of justice, right? So with our discernment, cutting through the bullshit and not just focusing on this season, but what are your plans past this season, right? So we might want to step outside of just like our guiding light being like, okay, what do we do for Virgo season? What do we do for this season? And how do we make it the best Virgo season? And like hyperfixate. But again, thinking about the Hermit, it's about the long game. It's the slow and steady wins the race. So this might be a really good reminder that our guiding light is really our long-term plans. Like, plan into Libra season. How do you want to prepare for that, right? We are transitioning out of summer. We're still here, but that shouldn't mean that we stop dreaming about the long-term goals, right? Keep the momentum going, because Virgo season will have a lot of rearranging. Libra season is when we want to be poised to strike. So that's one way that I'm interpreting this. Another is make sure you're listening to your moral compass above all things. Okay? Moral compass above all things. Don't get wrapped up in the nitty-gritty day-to-day, because ultimately that's not what's going to be helping you out. I also forgot to mention this. The Golden Art Nouveau Tarot is what I'm using today. This, as I've shared before, is the deck that I used at my wedding. People all got a card. I got a card. My husband got a card. One of my besties, love you, pulled all the cards that were placed in different places, and I just kind of really love that. So this is an energy that you might want to really connect with, is think about how your moral standards affect your choices, and let those be the guiding light of your principle. Collectively, what requires rearranging? What requires rearranging or change at this time? The Ace of Cups. Aces always come as an offering from the good Lord. So if we think about it that way, what needs rearranging? Well, how open are we to change and opportunity, especially when it comes to the heart? When we think about the cups, we're thinking about emotions, the intuition, things that you might want to get in order come from here and here. Get your heart in order, declutter the heart so you can make space for new things, but also declutter your intuition. Make sure your mind is not flooded with too many things that are of no importance. Make sure you are hyper aware of how to process your emotions, right? Because that is the house we want to have cleared out. Now, in relationship to this, to really be moving from a place of ethical, moral strength, we need to be decluttering cluttering our mind. Oh my gosh, somebody's contacting me about my parents' house. Amazing. Anyway, we're talking about cluttering and decluttering. They're working on selling their house, and I'm not even on the same phone plan, but my number is the same from when I was a kid, so a teenager. Baby, basically. Anyway, so with the cups, we might see that, you know, our moral compass can be cluttered and clouded when we are not letting go of the old bullshit that is within our hearts. We can't welcome new opportunity if we're hyper fixating on the old, right? We can't move with that passion until we let go of some things that are not serving us. So making space, decluttering, the heart and the subconscious. And both of those things kind of work really deeply together, I feel, because it's our heart that might live within our intuition. I don't know about you, that's true for me. So if it's not, you know, take it or leave it. But our mind and our hearts, when they're balanced out, we can move from a place of of agency that's not panicking, it's not vengeful, it's not overwhelmed. It's grounded and aware of, okay, this is what's happening with me. Okay, this is something I need to work on. Da, 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 da. With that said, let's pull one more card. What card can help us when we need to remember to declutter the mind and heart? What is a card that can support us in making those changes? Ten of Pentacles. Look at what you have. Don't fixate on what you don't have or what you want. Of course, move forward and plan. Declutter your heart and your mind, and make sure you're coming from a grounded place that is soft and open, but also recognize what you do have. And recognize what blessings you are maybe not always like cognizant of. I know that this is something that I personally have to work on all the time. I can catastrophize anything, right? That's something that I'm actively working on. So it's really helpful for me to stop and have those gratitude practices so that my OCD doesn't get out of control and take the cart off the fucking mountain, right? That's just what I need as a person. That's just what I have to do to feel more grounded, more spiritually present, and more at peace with where I'm at, is remembering, even when we are trying to plan and discern and cut through the bullshit, that we all got our baggage that we need to declutter so we can make space for the new. And part of that can be done through lots of practice around gratitude. So that's not to say that, oh, you're having a hard time, you lost your job, and you think you might become homeless. Practice gratitude, because that's fucking ignorant of me to say that. But what I mean is, take those breaths, take those moments to acknowledge what is present for you. Maybe that's a friend, maybe that's a structure, maybe that's a place and people who care about you. This is going to look different for everyone. Maybe this is an opportunity to connect back with family that you haven't talked to. You've wanted to be strong on your own, but it's okay to ask for help or reach out, right? It's also a card to remind us that even though the world is crazy, there is stability within grasp. It might be very difficult at times to remember or even find. That's not to disregard how other people might be struggling, but rather an opportunity to orient ourselves so that we are not moving from a place of a little too jealous or a little too overwhelmed emotionally. Like, let us ground ourselves and focus on what gives you the most stability. Sometimes that's gratitude, sometimes that's finding a new job, sometimes that's finding a new home, relationship, whatever it is. Think about the things that keep you grounded and feeling full in this journey going on in Virgo season. Keep your mind on the prize, get your house in order, heart house and mind house, and get your house in order so that you can really move from a place of authentic joy and success, right? That's what it's really about. Anyway, I hope this reading was supportive for you. Let me know down below what your thoughts, feelings, and suggestions are. And until next time, friends, you can connect with me in the link tree down below as well. I love you so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.